we are beginning the lesson 38, the page Yud Bet 12, Hasulam, the right column, the last line 31. So Zohar explained us the two states of Nukva. The first one is when she is on the same level with the Zeranpin, when she was created. We call it that he was right and she was left. And she had the same level as the Zeranpin, but the same level means, what means the same level? The same number of Sfirot. This is the same level. This is quantitative aspect. But qualitative, she was behind him. This is very thin aspect in the Kabbalah. You must always know what are we speaking about, or the Zohar, or whatever we study. That it can be a quantitative, it can be a qualitative aspect. So she was at the same level. He had Chagat Nehi, Vak, and she had Chagat Nehi. He had Chasadim, because he received Chasadim from Abouima. And Abouima, they want only Chasadim, Ki Chafetz Chesed, but because he wants only Chesed. So, Zeranpin received from them Gar. This is Gar, the Chesed, but it is Gar. This is enough for Zeranpin. But Nukva needs Chokhmah. And now she receives Chokhmah from the left side, from Yeshud. But she receives this, and she doesn't have Chasadim. And this is what the Zohar says, that she has the mochin of Achor. So behind, because she is Achor, behind the Zeranpin, so this mochin she has. And the next stage is when, and this is also the state of Katnut, the small state. Or this is, and the state of here becoming a partzuf. And then in this state, the zone are called apeizutre, the small faces. And then you remember that HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to her, go and diminish yourself. And she diminished herself, and she became a point after the Yesod of the Zeranpin. And this is here is a very special something that I want to tell you. Sometimes also here is important factor. Sometimes the Zohar or Kabbalah says she diminished herself and she came to stand under the Yesod of the Zeranpin. Yesod can be Kli, or Yesod can be light. Yes. So in this case, she stood under the yesod of the light of the yesod. And of course, the light of the yesod, we don't speak about lights without kilim. So, if we say that she came to stand under the yesod, the light of yesod, it means which kli? Above the chazeh, up till the point of the chazeh, Zeir Anpin has 6 kilim, Chabad, Nehi. Sorry, Chabad, Chagat, sorry. This is the kilim. Chabad, Chagat of the kilim. So you see, only 2 levels of the kilim. But not the Nehi of the kilim. That's why, okay, and then before I said that he had a vak and she had vak. You see, then you can say, and vak means that you can think that it is chagat nehi. But here is, so it must be always, you must always look, is the Zohar speaks, or I speak about the kilim, or the lights. If we speak about the kilim, Zeir Anpin has above the chazeh, I mean, in that silut, only Chabad Chagat, and not the Nehi, and if you express this, if you see it in lights, which correspond to this kilim, you have corresponding lights. A lights Chagat Nehi, because the gar of the lights is not yet received by the Zeir Anpin. So this is what we call the how we call it, the on the contrary, that the relationship between the kilim and the lights is polar. So we must know what we are speaking about. Just notice. So Nukva came to stand behind or under the yesod of the lights, of the light yesod of the Zeir Anpin. It means to the point of the chazeh of the Zeir Anpin. Kli, we can say the kli is Chabad Chagat, so under the Tiferet, or 1/3 of the Tiferet. So this is important. And then this is the state of Gadlut, or I mean, this is a state of Panim de Panim. Now she's not behind him, but she receives from him and not from the Binah. It means that she is Panim be Panim. His face looks at her and she looks at him. And she receives from him. This is Panim de Panim, face to face. And in this state, she can grow, because she can build her up again, and this state of the second state of the Nukwa, when she came to stand under the yesod of light of the Zeir Anpin, this is Ibur Bet This is called Ibur Bet. Yeah, the second Ibur, because again she must start, as it were, from the beginning. But this is not as it seems. It seems as if she diminished herself indeed, because she stood, she had the same level as Zeir Anpin, and now she is a point behind the Yesod. But this is not like this, because now she is standing. This is the panim, and this is the Ibur, the second Ibur. Ibur to receive the Gadlut. And nothing disappears in the spirituality. She had Chokhmah, she has it. Chokhmah, but now she receives the Chasadim step by step from the Zeir Anpin, first steadily, from one stage to another stage of the Zeir Anpin, up till she will come to the same level within, this is within Pnimiut, from the inner part, and she will come to stand together with the Zeir Anpin at the level of Rosh Chabad. Then she will be completely like Zeir Anpin, and then will come the time of sowing hair off from the Zeir Anpin. And this process, spiritual process, is perpetual. Still, every correction has the same process, because we are busy with things that are not changeable. Everything what we are speaking, this is always like this. Whatever you read in the Kabbalah, it is always these processes. Generations come, generations go, leave, but ideas come, ideas go. Progress come, progress go. But what we are studying is always valid. The laws of eternity. And once a year we have it in the time of Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah, this is also the time of what we are speaking about. This is the time of growing up of the Nukva from the point, like what we had spoken. That's why we have 10 days from the Rosh Hashanah, 10 days of repentance. Okay, repentance means that preparing your kilim in order to receive. And then we have it, all this cycle up till the Yom Kippur, you see. And also then we see it, the sowing off of the cutting off of the Inukva from the Zeir Anpin. Now she is standing completely face to face in the Apei Rav Ravin, with the great faces. They have large faces. And this is in Yom Kippur. This is on Rosh Hashanah. But we will study this. But this is once a year we have this cycle that in 1 year all the laws that are given to the holy nation is in 1 year correction. 1 year correction. In 1 year correction we have all the stages that a person must go through, and in these times when we have the feasts, these Yom Tov, Yomim Tovim, Pesach, or others, all others, these moments are the most, the right moments to get this mochin as this or another feast or Yom Tov suggests, holiday suggests. You see, it starts with the Pesach, going out of the Egypt. This is the beginning of the building up of the Parzuf, etc. So this is what we have learned, a great thing about this Nukva and her relationship with the Zeir Anpin. And then in this second Ibur, as a result of this second Ibur, and then in the second Ibur she goes again the same three stages of Ibur Yenika Mochin. So we have Ibur Yenika Mochin in the small stage, in the Ibur Aleph, and we have the same Ibur Yenika Mochin in the Panim in the second Ibur, step by step. And then, as a result of that, she will receive the Mochin and Gadlut. And their faces will be large faces. That means face. What is face? Face is the foresight of a Kli. And this is the face, or the sight of a sight of a Kli that bestows, that gives, or has the power to receive. This is what we call panim. And the side of the Kli, when we say achor, this is a side of a Kli that has no power to, neither to give, to bestow the light, nor to receive the light. So this must be the first definition for you, what is panim and achor. And again, now something else, or something next to this. So when we are speaking about panim and achor, then you know that then we are speaking about the kilim. Also here you must know when the Zohar speaks about the kilim and when he is speaking about the lights, mochin. When he speaks about the panim, then it is kilim. Or when he speaks about achor, this is also kilim. But sometimes you see what he said to us, that in this first stage, that she received the mochin de achor. You see, mochin de achor. He doesn't say in the line 19. You see, he says, and that's why nivchanim elo mochin. These mochin are considered mochin de achor, mochin of the achor. So this is not controversial. Mochin de achor. So mochin is light. Mochin is light that comes from the head. Brains. This is mochin. That are already the lights that are in the rosh. And this is okay. And when we are speaking about the lights, we are speaking about hitpashtut, about the spreading of the light, or histalkut, or outgoing of the light, leaving the light of the partzuf. Then you know that what we are speaking about. There is nothing else, my friend, nothing else, only kli and light. If you know how works the laws, how works the light and how works the kli, you know, and the relationship between them, the masach, the masachim, in the large, in the general, masachim in the general, these are the worlds, filters, and masachim in particular, the masachim that you build it up by your correction. That's all what we are speaking about. It's revealed Kabbalah. This Kabbalah brings, every time when you are studying in this way, and not with a moshal, and not just with telling the allegorical stories, you are directly connected to the ruchaniyut, to the spirituality. You don't need then to philosophical, to get the philosophical comprehension, or how do you call it, overpainting and thoughts, and to try to make all these logical conclusions and reflections. You see, it's just, you get it like the manna in the desert. And this is really like this, that when we are busy with the Kabbalah and the Zohar, what we are studying, it is really gives the feeling of resurrection of the death. Because whilst you are studying this, you resurrect, you rise up the death killing, something what was dead with you, in you, something that was latent form, hidden, concealed. You reveal it. It was death. And now you reveal it. And you are busy with your own killing. And this is Kabbalah. And now we are beginning where we had finished last time. The line 31, the right column. וזה שאומר, ואילמלה דנראו לא השתרון בעלמא. left column, the first line. Klomar, de ilvala de nir'u banukva, otam hanetzanim, to kvar mizman, ba'et katnuta, dahainu, babinyan, 3 האחוריים שלה כנ"ל. הנה לא השתערון בה פו המוחין דחיה, גם בעת גדלות, כי לא היו לה 5 כלים במה לקבלם. And now he gives us a great conclusion. וזה שומר, and this is the line 31, right column. וזה שומר, and this is what he, Zohar, says. ואילמלה דנירו, and would it, should it not, should it or would it, I don't know, should it not, if it not, if it was not, if they were not appeared, these sprouts, mochin, if they were not appeared, lo ishtarun ba'alma, they would not remain in the world. They, these wicked, remember, they would not remain in the world. The left column, the line 1, klomar. This means, the ilmala, the nir'u banukva, that if these otam hanetzanim, if these hanetzanim, these sprouts, if these sprouts would not appear in the nukva, 2, kvar mizman ba'et katnuta, look what he says, already before, already in the time, from the time of her katnut, from the first state of the nukva. Dahainu, that means binyan ha'achorayim shela, that means in the building of ha'achorayim shela. Ha'achorayim shela, you remember, of her kelim ha'achorayim, where she received only the mochin, the achorayim, when she stood next to him and received from Bina, Chochmah, the light Chochmah. Kanal, as said about Hinei lo ishtarun, behold, they would not remain in here, for they would not remain mochin in here, mochin dechaya in here, gam ba'et gadlut, also in the time of gadlut. So it is connected to each other, and it is ki lo hayula kilim b'ma lekablam. Look what he says, because she would not have kilim to receive it, to receive them. You see, so the kilim, first kilim, she needed to make kilim. First kilim, so she had kilim, first she had kilim of the achorayim, yes, achor. And then, in this kilim achor, she get the light, chokhmah, from the bina, from the left side. But this is not enough for her. Because without chasadim, she can't live. She can't feel this chokhmah. She needs this chokhmah, but she can't feel this chokhmah without chasadim. and now when she received the mochin of gadlut, what means that when she, in the second stage, when she made the ibur bet, then she received chasadim from the Zeir Anpin, and then she could receive in her kilim, where she had only chokhmah, but without chasadim, only mochin the achor. Now she receives the chasadim, and now what is going? How it works now? The chasadim appears. Look, very important. Look how it works. And again, and again, remember this opposite, how do you call it? Contrary relation between the lights and kilim. She had first the light of Chokhmah in her achor, in her achorayim. Yeah, in here, let's say, in her underbody. Now she receives the lights from the Zeir Anpin chasadim. Chasadim comes from above. Now it means that she also receives the light in the kilim, in her kilim panim. Yes, in her kilim, which kilim panim? Keter and Chokhmah, because Achoraim, we call it what we said before, but we can say it also, Binah, Zeir Anpin and Malchut of Kilim. If we just speaking about 5 Kilim, and it's normally we're speaking about 5 Kilim. Then now she gets Keter and Chokhmah. What does it mean she gets? Did she not have this? Was it a shortage of Keter and Chokhmah? She had, of course, Keter and Chokhmah, but when we speak, when the lights are not over there, the lights that are corresponding to them, or the lights of chasadim, then it is as if they are not there. Then now she receives from the Zeir Anpin chasadim. Chasadim come in the they come in the Keter. First come in the Keter. Now comes the Nefesh, and then comes the Ruach, and the Nefesh comes to the descends to the Chokhmah, Kli Chokhmah, and the Ruach is now in the Kli Keter. But now she gets the Gadlut. Yes, she had already the Mochin the Achor, and now she gets Chasadim in here, Kilim, Keter Chokhmah. Now, what is getting now in this situation? How we know how the lights must be when it is Gadlut. The higher, upper lights must be above. You remember this. Normally when the lights come into the Kilim, they come, the coarse light comes first, Nefesh, then Ruach. But now she has Mochin the Gadlut. She has the Gadlut. She has let's say 5 kilim. She had in her Bina, Zeir Anpin, and Malchut, she had the light of Gar. But in her kilim, Keter and Chochmah, she had no Chasadim. So it was a short stage, because Gar without Chasadim, it is what he said, it is Mochin de Achor. And this is called Katnut, because it is not real Gar. Gar we are speaking when it is Gar already, when there is also Chasadim, there are Chasadim. But now, look, he doesn't speak about this, but I just give you the impression how it works, so that you know exactly how it works. Now we have Chesed Gvora, Nefesh and Ruach came into the Keter and Chochmah of Kilim, of the Nukwa. This is what she received from the Zeir Anpin. And in her Achor, she had the light of Bina, Zeir Anpin, and Malchut. So the light, let's say the light Neshama, Chaya, and Yechida. And now she connected both these parts of her body, of her binyan, of her building. And immediately, of course, the coarser lights, now she has now 5 kilim that connected with each other, without parsa. So they are connected to each other. That means that now the coarser lights, like Nefesh and Ruach, they are descending to their own place, because there are 5 kilim. If you have 5 kilim, you have 5 lights. It means that Nefesh and Ruach, they are descending to their place. Nefesh descends through the Bina and Zeir Anpin, Kli, the Bina, Zeir Anpin, to the Kli Malchut and Ruach, and over there was the light Yechida, and Yechida is the thinnest light, the highest light. So the Nefesh comes over there, and the Yechida rises up above to her own place, and the light Ruach descends to his own place, to the place of the Kli Zeir Anpin, and the light Chaya that was at the place of the Zeir, in the Kli of the Zeir Anpin, in the time of her being Achor, only Achor, rises up to the Kli Chochmah, and the Bina is on its own place. So we have now 5 kilim with 5 corresponding lights. But this is important, and this is also important what the Zohar says, that nothing disappears in the spirituality, that what it was before, in her state of Achor, when she had only Achor, with a light that was Mochin de Achor, that was an important feature, because by that she built it up, she built it up the Kelim, kelim to receive the mochin of the Chaya in the time of Gadlut. You see now how it works? What the Zohar says? That in the Gadlut, she now, because of her former state, first state of Gadlut, she now has the kelim in her Gadlut to receive also mochin the Chaya, because if not, where should she receive the mochin the Chaya? Now you see how it works. We are going to the line 1 of the text of the Zohar. The new Ot Vav. Uman Mekayim Alma Vegarim Leavhan De Idgalin Kal Yanuke De Lan Tu Beoraita Uvagin Inon Ravin de Alma. Alma is Taziv. Point. And now remember these last words of the Zohar, these of Hasulam. What he told us about, what he have told us about this fact that due to the Gadlut that the Nukva had beforehand, now in the state of Gadlut she can receive the mochin the Chaya. And you remember that receiving mochin the Chaya, this is what the Zohar says, that this redeems the world. This redeems the wicked, like it was in the generation of the flood. Deluge. And because the mochin the Chaya, you see, the mochin the Chaya, they cleans a person, generation, the world of the klipot. And this is the salvation. There is no other salvation. There is no other redemption but only this. When a person is redeemed, build himself up, not that someone else will redeem you. You must yourself bring yourself in congruence with the laws of the universe. You must yourself draw from yourself. To draw is limshoch, from the verb limshoch. From this verb comes the noun Mashiach, the Redeemer. And not something like what the general public about this thing think. When you, me, everyone who works on himself, draws the light from above. And how do we do this? By rising up the light of Or Chasadim. This is how we know what is, how we know the taste of the light. We don't know the light, what the light is. We don't need to know this. It is impossible to know this. We say it, atzmuto. The light itself, it's impossible to know. But how do we come to knowing and experiencing the light? Only by Or Choser. This is the wonder. This is the wonder that was given to the great godly Ari, the first and the only one who had received this directly from the Eliyahu Hanavi, from the Eli, the prophet. Because he was, to him it was his destination. Otherwise we would not understand how we will speak about the lights, but we will speak about them, but we will not feel. It is like talking about something that behind me. And so in the same way they study, they think Ramchal explain things that no one understands. But they say, if you ask someone who studies traditional Torah, they will say to you, yes, but this is for generation to come, this is for later. Or something else. Because even Ramchal, he was who actually the Talmid, the disciple of Ari was, because he learned the Kabbalah from Ari. He says it, he speaks always about this. But still, he, in his works, it is as if he speaks about the light itself and not about the Or Choser. And this is why it is so difficult and so far away from me. Whilst Ari speaks everything what he speaks about the Or Choser. He doesn't say a word from the light out of the Or Choser. Because we don't need to know the light. If we know the Or Choser, we know the light. And when he speaks about the Adam Kadmon, okay, this is according to the principle, Mi Besari Echezeh Eloka, from my body, from my flesh, I will learn the divine. I said a few words about Ramchal, and then I want to say something. You see, I give Kabbalah already 5 or 6 years. I haven't spoke. I didn't tell this even to my students. Probably I didn't tell it yet. I didn't want to tell it. There are some things that you don't need to tell them. But I will tell you something. I don't know why, because I spoke about this. You will know how it works. Since I was born, since I knew myself, and I was born in Ukraine, in some place where, in the time of the Stalin, where no one went abroad. It was 2 years after the war, the Second World War. And my father was a simple Jew, was an Orthodox Jew. He had no head like this, but he was a good Jew, and he kept all mitzvot on his way. Shabbat, everything. So I was grown up like this. But doesn't matter. But to the point. And I was the only child. my father, after the war, he took my mother with 2 children, because her husband was killed in the war, in the first months. So, but I was only one from this marriage. And since I remember myself as a child, my father and mother played with me card. And this card were beautiful card. They were, glimmering. And these were cards that my father had bought on the marketplace after the war. And these cards were from Holland. Because probably of these German soldiers who had cards in themselves, probably. And so my father bought these cards. Beautiful cards. And these cards of Holland. And these, the cards have asses. And 4, Aces, yes? Aces. Okay, aces. And the 4 aces, the 4 cards that were of these aces, over there was a picture on both sides, from one side and another side, were pictures of the, canals of Amsterdam. So 4 canals of Amsterdam. So, single, there are 4 canals. If you come to Amsterdam, there are 4 canals. Single, Herengracht, so Prinsengracht, Keizersgracht and Prinsengracht. 4 canals. So the center is surrounded by these 4 canals. And so I saw these cards when I was just, as long as I know myself. I just tell it just for nothing. You don't need to lay connections to this. And in Amsterdam there is also one canal that was before, many century before. And then this canal was, again, begroef. Was made like a street, it was not canal anymore. They begroeven that, They closed this, the water of this canal, the 5th one, so in the inner one, they closed. And so I played with my father and mother the cards, as I won a play, and this play is a Jewish play. A Jew played in this Ukraine, in this kind of play, that the name of it is Tablin. And Tablin means, in the Hebrew, means tefillah. Tablin, tefillah. So it means the ritual immersion. I just say things that you just place it. It just doesn't matter. But you just see how it works. Funny. And so they played it with me. And they always let me win. Always. So, and I was very, of course, delighted to win. I always wanted to win. I mean, in card. So this was from my birthday, actually. And I didn't know what it was I didn't care about this. And then in beginning of 75, I came to Holland. I took these cards with me. I took the talit of my father, yes, this mantle, how to call it, this talit of my father, the prayer shawl, but it was stolen from me, Baruch Hashem, because otherwise I would look at them as material things, and no, they are just within myself, doesn't matter. But when I came to Amsterdam, and I studied in Moscow, also in the yeshiva, in the time of the communists, that was something to study at that time. It was a terrible thing. But doesn't matter, but to the point. So then I came to Amsterdam. And here I went to study. I did some other things. I had to build my life. I went to the university, and I needed to build my life to have a normal life. So, but still, I studied, and then I studied Ramchal, and I took the Ramchal. I took the first book that in Hebrew that I've read, that was Mesilat Yesharim, the path of the just, because I wanted. This was my intention to study, to cleanse myself, Tahara. And then I had a great feeling. Then I recognized that I had in myself what is called Nitzutz Ramchal. Not that I was Chas v'Shalom, that I pretend that I was the, incarnation of Ramchal. But I had a Nitzutz. You remember, we will learn it, that something what is not corrected comes back again to be corrected. And there was something that Ramchal didn't correct. It doesn't matter, it's not something that it is terrible or something lackage in the life of the Ramchal, but he had to do it. And he didn't do it. And this is not because he failed. But he came to Amsterdam. And he had a Kabbalistic group in Padua. A great one. A real one. And when he was persuaded by the Jewish Inquisition, then he went to Amsterdam. And here he felt himself comfortable. It was the only place where he felt himself comfortable. But one thing he didn't do, and no one knows why. No, of course we know, because he was forbidden to write Kabbalah, to write books, to write articles on Kabbalah. And he was forbidden, of course, to do anything with Kabbalah, That's why he wrote the greatest books, what they called, that they are Musar, that they are Jewish ethics. Because it was forbidden to him. And still, there is something that can be forbidden for everyone, but not for the Kabbalist. Galileo Galilei can come back to his statement that the earth moves or dries, turns. But the Kabbalist is not allowed. Is not allowed to stop with learning Kabbalah. Is not allowed not to give the Kabbalah to others. We don't know how it was with Ramchal. I don't look about this. But I had a strong feeling that I had this nitzutz, this sparkle of Ramchal in myself, that I had to do this, I had to fulfill this, because I had it very strong, the feeling that I need here to build up here a Kabbalistic group. And interesting is, when it was probably 2 years ago, I don't know exactly when it was, it doesn't matter. Then I had the feeling that this nitzutz was left me. When nitzutz leaves a person, it can be because his life is now, he didn't promote his life, or because he fulfilled. Then, because nothing is in this world nothing comes in this world that is superfluous. Someone had to do this, so this nitzutz, this sparkle of Ramchal, came in myself, probably during my life. But still I had it as a child. And then it left me. And it left me because I fulfilled this, what I had to do. And then I don't need to be, then this sparkle left me with, how do you call it? I'm not connected to it anymore. I fulfill this. And I'm free of this. And then this sparkle is, as it were, fulfilled, and this is a way, there is no shortage about this. So, by this I, as it were, corrected this small thing that Ramchal, I will just tell you, because I spoke about Ramchal, so that you know how it works. Because after this spark, because when I started my site, remember, who remembers? Miriam, maybe you remember. When I started my site like Bnei, that was the name of this, was Bnei Ramchal. Bnei Ramchal, because I knew that I had this spark in myself. But then, when I fulfilled this, you see, then I saw that no, my teacher is Ari. And the same as the teacher of Ramchal is also Ari. And that's why I had a vision once that I saw myself sitting in the class of Ari. And I saw all these great Kabbalists. I just tell you that you see how it works. In the first, rain. In the first, on the first benches, on the first benches near to Ari, and the Ari gave the lesson. And on the first benches, I saw, on the first rows, I've seen the great Kabbalists, Rashash. This is a great Kabbalist of the 1700, like this, from Yemen. And I've seen others, and I've seen Ashlag, and I've seen Ramchal, because all of them are getting their source is Ari. And I saw myself sitting somewhere behind, Doesn't matter. But this was given to me once to see this. And then I was quiet. Why? Because I knew now that not that my relation to Ramchal is already fulfilled. Just several words about this, so you know how it works. So you know that, and if you tell this story to someone who in traditional Torah is, he will think all the things, they will not understand this. Because only someone who works on himself, who disgraces, as it were, himself, makes himself like a dust, only he or she receives the tete-a-tete relation with the Creator, and he feels that he has the individual provision, hashgacha pratit in Hebrew, in the individual provision. Yes, provision or not? Huh? Yeah, individual management from above. Whilst someone who is religious, belongs to a kind of religion, they have provision, hashgacha, but only the common. They are seen as the nation. That's why they say, we are the Jewish nation. Up till they will start, up till it will be shown to them from above that they are actually one by one must build up their own personal relation with the Torah and with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. And then also they will receive one by one the hashgacha pratit, the individual provision, providence, probably. But you can't explain it to someone who is religious. And doesn't matter. That's why don't try even. They don't understand this. Because they think that one must be great, must be someone great. But the Kadosh Baruch Hu from above sees completely different. It's not your charisma, not the large things, the amount of books that one writes, and not the outer performance that someone is everywhere to see, in the synagogue or in the church, on the television, on the radio, but only in the measure of Mesirut Nefesh, the, how do you call it, of the giving yourself up, your nefesh, only working lishma, even that we realize that it is impossible. This is already the sign that you are closer to the truth, to your own truth, to receiving of your own aura that you need to receive to come to your perfection. Where we are standing? Okay. But now we are standing in the Zohar, in the text of the Zohar, or not?
Heb je net gelezen de lot?
Ja.
En nu moet je dan naar de tekst van de Sulam.
And then I connected to the text of the Sulam, yes?
Ja, dat moet je nog doen.
No, but the text I didn't finish yet. The text of the Zohar.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. No, it doesn't matter. It's just I reflected something on the Sulam. Okay, but this is very important that what I said. I started to read the Zohar, the Vav, Ot Vav, the line 1 of the Zohar itself, and then I brought you into that I ask you to remember what the last passage, what we have learned from the Hasulam, that before that without the first stage of the Nukva of Achor, she would not have the Kilim in her small stage. She would not have the Kilim in the time of her Gadlut to receive the Mochin, the Chaya. And then I spoke a little bit about this Mochin, the Chaya. What are the Mochin, the Chaya? And you look where we finished, where we have finished. That was just something extra. But now we are returning to the Zohar. The line 1. Ot Vav 6. Uman Mekayim Alma. Vegarim Le'avan. And who, Uman, and who Mekayim Alma, who makes the world exist, standing. Vegarim Le'avran, and causes the fathers, the patriarchs, lead Galian to reveal themselves. A kind of question the Zohar places. Only question we don't place the sign, the question. So, but this is the question. And he answers, the Zohar itself answers. Kal Yenuke, the voice of the small ones, children, the Lan to Boraita, who study the Torah, in the Torah, who study the Torah, Ubagin inon Raviin the Alma, and look, and due to effect that they are what another word was a little bit higher, the children that are already maybe 10 years or 12 years. It was you help me next time, huh? Puber. Also in English? Youngster. Oh, and youngsters. And because ubegin they don't ravi in the alma, and because of these youngsters of the world, alma ishtaziv, the world is saved or redeemed. This is in the language of the Zohar. You see, a small one means the small state. That without this learning of the small ones, the world would not be could exist. It means the mochin de chai would not be received. There would not be kelim for that. Point. Lekableihon Turi Zahav Nasalacha 3 Elin Inon Yenuki Ravai Olmin Dichti Vasita Shnaim for Kruvim Zahav. Point. 2 after the point. Lekableihon and corresponding to them, is it written in the Torah? Torei Zahav Nasalacha. It is written in the Shira Shirim, in the Song of Songs, that Torei Zahav, the Rei, row. Okay, the rows of the golden rose. Make for yourself. It was said to in the Shira Shirim. Ilen, Inon, Yenuki Ravrayan. And the Zohar says, these are the small ones, Yenuki, Ravayin, Almin. Three words that are speaking about, that are, how do you call it, attributes that are, the small ones. Yenuki, the small ones, children. Ravian, it's like youngsters. And the Almin is like, what was the last one? Adolescent, about like this. Dichtiv, because it is written. Vasita Shnaim Kruvim Zahav. It was written in the Torah, in the Shmot, that Havaya said to Moshe, and make two Kiruvim, two golden Kiruvim. I don't know in English. So these two angels, from gold, that Moshe had to make in his tent where he had meeting, where he had met Hakadosh Baruch Hu, Havaya. Cherubim. Cherubs, the cherubs, or like this. Cherubs or cherubs. Okay, now we are descending to the Hasulam, the left column, the line 6. Otvav, Oman, Mekayim, Alma, Vechule. And who makes the world stand firmly, stand, or existing. Vechule, etc. Double point. Umihu 7 Hamikayem et Aulam Vegorem Laavod Sheitgalu. Point. Umihu, and who is it? 7 Hamikayem et Aulam. Who is that who makes the world existing, standing, firmly standing? Vigorem, and causes to fathers, to patriarchs, Sheitgalu, that they would to reveal themselves. And you remember the fathers. This is the Chagat. And how can they reveal themselves? They become Chabad. Chesed rises up. Abraham, Chesed rises up to the Chochmah. Yitzchak, Gvura, rises up to the Binah. And Yaakov, Tiferet, rises up to the Dad. And then is revealing. Then we have the Or Chaya, Mochet de Chaya. But who, he says, who makes it? Who, due to who is that? 8. Hainu, and he answers the Zohar, Kol hayeladim hauskim b'Torah, ubishvil 9, Yildei olam heilu. Haolam nitzal. Point. 8. Hainu, that means, Kol hayeladim, the voice of the children, hauskim b'Torah, who are busy learning the Torah. Ubishvil 9 Yaldei Olam Eilu, and due to these children of the world, Haolam Nitzal, the world is redeemed, saved. 9. After the point. Knegdam Katuv. 10. Turei Zahav Naaseh. Corresponding to that, is it written in the Shir Hashirim. Turei Zahav Naaseh. Make the rows of gold, golden rows, for yourself. Point. Elohem Yeladim Narim 11 Alamim Shekatuv Vasita Shnayim Kruvim Zahav. Elohem 10 Yeladim. These are children. Narim, we translate it like youngsters. 11 Alamim, this we translate as adolescent. Shekatuv, that it is written, Vasita Shnayim Kruvim Zahav, and make 2 cherubs of gold. No one word in the Torah just speaks about something material. What does it mean? Cherubs, golden cherubs. We will see how it works. But without Kabbalah, we can't understand. We can understand only Pshat, only the simple meaning. And the simple meaning doesn't have the power of redemption. That's why they are learning this thousands of years, and they don't want to get the redemption. They speak about the redemption, because would they, if they firmly wanted redemption, they would study the Kabbalah. But they like the life like they live, and no redemption comes, but only through the Yisurim, through the suffering, whilst it is not given like this. It can be suffering, only suffering from the point of view of love, and not something that suffering can come chas v'shalom, from above. No way that suffering can come from above. So if the suffering comes, and suffering like dinim, then it means that the generation, a person or generation, are failed. If we have suffering as due to our intention, due to our wish to come in congruence with the higher, by making thinner our aviyut of our masach, this is suffering out of love. This is the suffering, this is barmhartig, this is the merciful suffering. This is suffering in order to build up, and not the suffering by din. This can't come from above. This comes only through due or because of the discrepancy between the lower and higher. And even then, it doesn't come from above. It is reflection how the lower sees, experiences the light. He experiences Achor. Experiencing Achor is like the Malchut experienced Achor, and this is terrible for her. What was the advice to hear from HaKadosh Baruch Hu? You must make yourself smaller and come under the Yesod. You see, it means then you will get the Chasadim, and then you will, but you, of course, the fact that you make yourself smaller, actually it is higher, qualitative, but still it gives the feeling as diminishing oneself. Still it gives to Malchut, as it were, or to a lower one, to a generation even, the feeling that of a kind of suffering. But if I know that this suffering comes out of love, that by that I will get the great, only by that I can get the Gadlut, and I can get all the experience of the glory of what HaKadosh Baruch Hu had prepared for me, then I'm ready to do this. And the line 12, yes? The line 12. Huh? 12. Biur advarim, ravin de alma, hem bchinat setin mochin de achor, hanal bedibur asamuch. Anikra 14, apei zutra, vechen ravain de alma, vechen Yenuki 15, Ravain Almin, Olmin. Ufhinat azivuk shalahem, Bamatzav ze 16 Nikra, Kol Yenuki de Al Bauraita. Look how he explains it to us. Biur Advarim 12, the explanation of words. Ravain de Alma. The youngsters of the world, Hem Pchinat Mochin de Achor. Look, these are the aspect of Mochin de Achor, like the Nukwa was before. And this is in the language of the Zohar. The Mochin de Achor, Hanal, so as said above, as it said about. Bedibura Samuk, as it said about in the adjacent expression. Hanikra Apizutra, that are called Apizutra, the small faces, as we have learned before. We can Ravayin the Alma, and so also Ravayin the Alma. The Ravayin the Alma, the youngsters of the world. No, 15, yes? No? No. We can Ravayin the Alma, and so the youngsters of the world. We can, and also, look, now he gives three of them. Yenuki, 15, Ravayin, Olmin, and the small ones, children, the youngsters, and the adolescents. Ufhinata zivug shalahem, and the question, and the aspect of the zivug of them in this state. 16. Nikra kol yenuki, look, is called the voice of yenuki, the voice of the children that are study the Torah. You see, studying of the Torah, this is the mochin that they receive. These children, they are studying, they are receiving achor. You see, they are receiving the mochin, the achor, like the nukwa in her small state. And that's why he uses this expression of these children. And next passage we will learn Bezrat Hashem on the next lesson.